there's a life I could have known, one beyond my wildest dreams. Maybe that road could have carried me to streets of gold. Things aren't always as they seem. Looking back on all the chances that I missed, some I held, some slipped away. One street over where my memories exist, I wonder what would change, I really couldn't say. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today. Times gone by, I've traded like dirt into clay. I thought my memories would end. One street over's now 1,000 miles away. When I close my eyes, I'm back to where I've been. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. This, they get right to it. This is 1100 WSG. I'm Utah LaVern, and yes, this is one street over. What's going on one street over from where you live in? We're living right here in Robertson County because we get to live and work. That's in the words of County Mayor Billy Vogel. We are blessed because we get to live and work in Robertson County. And somebody that's been living and working here his whole life, Houston Dorris, is in the house, and we'll get up right on that microphone and set up nice and tall for me. I have to remind everybody, that we're just kind of chill out, sitting on the porch talking, but we're streaming. And hello, wave to everybody.
Good morning, LaVern. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Houston?
Glad to be here.
I'm so glad you are here. And, we were talking off mic or before we turned everything on that you just did a history feature.
Spoke to the Robertson County Historical Society a couple of nights ago, and just had a great time reminiscing with that group and remembering some of the former features of Springfield.
Isn't that cool? But so this is Dorris Milling, and y'all been around. How many years have y'all been around?
Well, since 1844, so that's 180 something.
Goodness, isn't that something? And y'all were in the square, really, kind of before you were out across from the fairgrounds.
Right, we were on 4th Avenue, right off the corner of the center there, at a flour mill there.
Right,
where Cheatham Park School is now.
Oh, okay. And we had a mill in our family that my uncle ran, and up in Fossumdale, just out of Mayfield.
Okay.
And so we had a mill that my uncle ran. So I grew up around all of that. And then my daddy, because when we had livestock, when we were a hog production farm, Daddy built his own milling system where he did his own grinding and mixed feed and all of that. So I spent a lot of time up in what was the old dairy barn, scooping grain into the different augers that did the blending and took the feed out to the hogs and all of that.
Right.
So I grew up around it all.
Yeah. Well.
So I have so much respect for the milling companies and the fact that, man, you guys are still out there, doing business and working, and I just think it's cool. It's just a wonderful legacy.
Well, we enjoy what we do and enjoy serving the customers of the area.
Well, it's a beautiful legacy, and I love that y'all been around as long as you have. And I mean, it's just a fun store to go in. You know, I love coming in there. I don't get in there enough, and I apologize. You know, for every now and then I'll get into a rhythm that I'll be in there all the time, and then I just get busy and I don't get in there. But
we see your husband Mark quite often.
Yeah, well, it's the animal feed, you know, because we have a Great Dane, and he eats a lot. And so we get in there and get pet food from time to time too. But and that's what people don't realize is that you know, while you do have everything that you need for horses and cattle and those kinds of things, you've got pet foods.
Absolutely.
And you've got chickens. You've got chick days and all of those things. Y'all got chicks in there right now, though, don't you?
Right now we do. Yeah. Yes.
When does that start? When does people start? Because what is the season when I come in? You're going to have the chicks there under the lights.
Usually early March. We try not to get them when it's so cold.
Yeah.
This year it was a little tough, but the little baby chicks are so tender. You got to keep them warm.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize that. They just want to take them home and put them out, and that doesn't work.
Yeah.
So
they won't make it if you do that.
Usually from March on into May.
Okay. And so but you always have something around Easter to celebrate, and we call it Chick Days, and you have the Easter Bunny and all the things coming in. Andrew called me or messaged me the other day, and he's like, "Hey, we need to talk." And I'm like, "Absolutely!" And I appreciate so much you guys reminding me that y'all have this coming up. Let me kind of double back. Now, you also do you still do your trees?
The soil conservation has taken over the giving out of the trees.
Okay.
It was at their office about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
So
do you know I've got a tree still in my yard that I got from y'all, and it's big.
That's great.
Because all my boys got one. It's I can't remember what variety it is. Only one. They only kept one of them alive. Yeah. You know how it is with the little seedlings.
I know exactly. Yes.
But one of them did, and we've got one standing tall right in the middle of our yard. And it came from one of your days when you were handing out trees.
Could be a tulip poplar.
I think it might be. I'm not sure, but it's a pretty thing.
Yes.
It has beautiful leaves in the fall, and
it's probably a poplar.
Okay, but yeah, we planted 4. Kids didn't keep the others because I put them in charge of it.
Yeah.
You know. So, but anyway, that's the kind of thing that you find at Dorris Milling, guys. Just it's family, it's heritage. It is all the things. And there's a lot of local folks that haven't discovered y'all yet.
Well, we invite
new folks.
Yeah, new folks. A lot of new people in Springfield. Yes. And so we invite everybody to come down and visit with us and see some of the heritage. We have it placarded around on the wall, pictures and memorabilia. And so we're proud of our heritage.
I think it's something to be definitely very proud of. But as we're getting ready for the Chick Days and Easter Bunny and all of that, so tell us what you've got that day. What's going to happen with it? Turn that microphone to where you're talking right into the top. Turn it down just a little bit. Yeah, just there you go. Perfect. Okay. There we go.
LaVern, March 28th, which is coming up not this Saturday but the following Saturday.
Right.
We have what we call our annual Chick Day. We've been doing this for 30-something years.
Oh, wow.
The Easter Bunny comes, and people get their picture made with the Easter Bunny, whether you're young or old. You can sit and get your picture snapped with the Easter Bunny. We have the chicks there available, of course, for the children to look at and for the parents to purchase.
There you go.
We also have pony rides. We have a petting zoo that the children really enjoy looking at the various animals and feeding them and loving on them and nurturing on them. They enjoy riding the ponies, of course, and that activity goes from 9 till 12 on Saturday the 28th. And so we invite any and everybody to come. I know it's beginning of baseball season or softball season or whatever ball season
soccer
it is.
Season, I have my 3 grandkids in Mount Juliet. We have baseball, we have soccer, and softball.
There we go. All the above.
All the above.
And so,
all the above.
It's a busy time, but we're hoping for a pleasant Saturday.
Yeah, it'll be beautiful.
And so we'll if we have to move indoors, we will. But we've done it before. But
well, we're just going to pray over it. It's going to be beautiful and perfect and sunny and all the things. Now, Easter Bunny will be there for the entirety of the time.
For the entirety of the time. He may be out riding his hoverboard. He likes to zip around on his hoverboard. And seriously,
you got a bunny you've got an Easter bunny on a hoverboard.
On a hoverboard, sure enough.
Oh man,
sure enough. And,
I love it.
He zips up and down the street and
That's great.
rides in and out of the store, and
That's great.
The children really enjoy being with him.
Oh yeah, I got to see that.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
That's fun. But now, can people just? You say they can take pictures. There's not going to be a photographer. You just do it with your camera.
Do it with your phone. Used to be we used Polaroids, but Polaroids have gone by the wayside.
Right.
And so yeah, but everybody snaps pictures with their phone usually.
I think I could probably find some Polaroids with my kids in the Easter Bunny.
Probably so.
I'm fairly certain I've got some of those in
Probably
my family archives.
We have people that come that the young children came when they were young, and now they're older, and their mother still wants them to come get their picture made with the Easter Bunny, and so
Isn't that funny?
It's a fun day.
Well, and like I said, my children have been there for it. And so I know I've got some pictures, the old Polaroids and different, it's so funny you're talking about Polaroids. One of my students has a Polaroid camera that he paid $100 something dollars for.
Yeah.
And then the film for it
You can't hardly get the film.
expensive.
Yeah, you can't hardly get it.
And he goes, but I'm having fun with it. And I just giggled. I got such a kick out of that.
Yeah.
I thought, oh, how funny is that?
Used to be very popular, but as you say, it's hard to get the film anymore.
Isn't that funny? But yeah, I remember, and it's just such a good time and a lot of fun. But I have not seen the Easter Bunny on the hoverboard yet. I got to see that.
He handles it just like a champ.
That's hysterical. I'd break my neck on one of them things. Have you tried it?
Nope. I would have to have a 4-wheel hoverboard.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's fun. Yeah. That's fun. Now, talk to me about the chicks. What type of chicks do you have? Are they just the regular little white chickens? Or?
Well, no, we have various varieties.
I thought you did.
Now, we do all pullets, all females. Therefore, most people that buy from us are looking for egg production because they like to raise their own eggs.
Right.
Feed some good natural feed and have their own eggs, whether they be brown or white or blue or pink or, we have various varieties of chickens that will lay different color eggs. And they have different color feathers, and they're black and they're speckled and they're white and they're red, and the majority of them lay brown eggs, but we do have some varieties that lay colored eggs, and people enjoy fooling with those. It's still an egg. It still eats like an egg. It's just a different color. And we have them with the little feathers on their feet and brilliant colors rather than the commercial breed chickens. But it just according to what they want.
My dad had all kinds of chickens. I mean, at one point, he had just, all kinds of odd chickens and odd colored eggs and different things. He loved that kind of stuff. But he grew up on the farm. I mean, he always farmed. And so it was part of his heritage.
Well, that was part of it. You had chickens so you could have eggs.
Yeah, exactly.
And
we got spoiled with the stores.
That's right.
And the fresh farm eggs, there's nothing like them. That's a lot of people don't realize how to care for them, how to keep them, and all of the things that go along with farm eggs. Do y'all have any kind of education for somebody that's like, I really I want to do this, but I don't know how to do this?
We do. We have some education. We have some booklets that we can hand out. There is also some information through the Extension Service about care and keeping of chicks and all the way to raise them up to hens.
Okay.
And so it's not hard, but you have to be diligent.
Right.
It's common sense. When they're little, you got to keep them warm. The whole time you've got to keep them water. They drink a lot of water.
Okay.
Chickens eat a lot of feed. And I love it. I hope they eat a lot of feed because that's my business, sell feed.
Yeah.
And you'd be amazed at how much feed they will eat in the lifetime of a chicken.
That surprises me.
They eat a lot. And, we're not sure if we're going to have any ducks on Chick Day because ducks have been hard to come by this year. But the ducks are a whole different species. They like to play in the water. They don't just like to drink it. They like to play in it, and they make a mess. And they're cute as they can be, but they can sure be nasty.
Go to Travis Price Park.
Yeah, that's it.
You understand the ducks.
That's it.
If you go out there for the fishing, you're gonna waller in it.
You fight off the ducks. Yeah,
you're gonna fight off the ducks, and you're gonna be wallering in their mess.
That's right.
That's just part of it, but that's just part of it.
That's just
a
duck.
It's all natural.
Yeah, it's all natural. That's right.
I mean, I grew up around livestock and manure and all that kind of thing, and it's just part of it, But you just got to get past it. But that's the thing with ducks. I mean, well, will people get ducks for duck eggs then?
So most of them
just pets?
Just pets. Yeah,
that's what I was thinking.
Just pets.
Because I don't know that I've ever had a duck egg. Do they lay like chickens?
They lay eggs, not as prolific as chickens, but they do lay eggs. And it's I understand. I don't know that I've had one either, but I understand they are very rich. They're more so than a chicken egg.
Huh. And they'd be, I guess, larger too.
Larger,
they're
higher,
larger
higher
egg.
protein. Yes.
Okay, interesting.
Yes.
Because I don't think I've ever had one. When I start thinking about it, because Dad didn't really mess with ducks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he had from time to time, I think he had a couple of peacocks at one time and different things like that. But it was mostly just all the different exotic breeds of chickens and stuff that he liked to get.
You mentioned the ducks at Travis Price. Several of those are ducks that came from us that people raised and then turned loose over there on the lake.
That's hysterical.
So they got too big and tired of keeping them, I guess, and they turned them loose on the lake. So
I've had a lot of friends that talk about that. And that because I mean I have a friend that's up in Hendersonville, and they got their daughter a couple of ducks, and they finally took them down to the little lake down there, the area just off of Gallatin Road, and set them free because they got to be too much.
Right.
They got to be too much. So
they're an animal of nature, and that's kind of where they deserve to be.
Yeah, they like you said, they like to play in the water.
They like to play. They really do.
But this is, but chicks. Now, how many chicks do you think you'll sell in a season? How many do you go through?
Last year was a phenomenal year because the price of eggs were so high, and everybody wanted to have their own chicks so they could have their own eggs. We sold about 2,000 chicks last year.
Oh, wow.
This year does not look like it's going to be quite so prolific, but we'll probably get up in the 1,000 anyway.
Okay.
So we usually get them 100 at a time. Oddly enough, that people probably don't realize they are mailed to us. We pick them up at the post office. As a matter of fact, when I leave here this morning, I'll go by the post office and pick up some chicks. Our particular company is in Cincinnati, and these chicks would have been hatched yesterday, packaged up, put in the mail last night, and will be sitting in the post office in Springfield this morning.
Wow. How do they keep them warm?
Well, the packaging is perforated so they can have plenty of air, and yet it's closed up, and the little chicks put out heat themselves.
Okay.
And so they package so many in a compartment. The boxes are compartmentalized, and they pack so many, a certain number in a compartment, and they know pretty much that it'll take that many little chicks to keep themselves warm.
How wild.
And so when they get here, they're ready for a drink of water and ready to get some feed. So
I bet. That's amazing. So they just hatched yesterday.
They will be 1 day old when we get them, yes.
That's fascinating. Do y'all do any kind of a hatchery yourself at all?
We do not.
Have you ever?
Did
you dabble?
Past,
because sometimes you try that and you're like, I don't want to do that.
In times past, we had brooders and incubators, and when I was little, so that's been 60 years ago. But we did incubate some chickens. I remember as a child, they had some that they incubated.
Okay. Very good. Very good. That is cool. I think that's fascinating. But there's just all this stuff when it comes to the chickens and stuff, and wanting to have your own fresh eggs. You mentioned last year the price of eggs. What caused all that?
Well, there were various reasons. The avian flu was one severe reason. It knocked out a lot of flocks of chickens.
Okay.
And, then people also got a little scared of that, even though it was almost a false rumor that, there could be some disease come through the eggs. And so they wanted eggs that they knew where the egg came from.
Okay.
Their backyard, so to speak.
Okay.
And so it was a little bit of a false scare, but there were hundreds of thousands of birds that had to be put down because of the avian flu.
Okay. And it was right at Easter, too.
Right at Easter, yes.
And that made it kind of rough,
We would have people in our parking lot last year when we got there early in the morning waiting to get in and get their chicks.
How long does it take from the time you get a chick before you're going to start having eggs?
About 4 to 5 months, according to the breed and the variety, and according to how well you tend to them along that way. But about 4 to 5 months before you'll see any eggs, and you'll see right at the very first you'll see odd shaped eggs, smaller eggs, and then as the hen develops, you'll start getting a regular egg.
How long will it produce?
Again, according to the breed, the heavy breeds that are good layers, 3 to 4 years.
Oh, wow.
If a chicken is taken decent care of.
Okay. So do you? I mean, this is to me. This is fascinating. This is something that I want to have bees and I want chickens. You know, and
good combination.
And I think those are two staples that if you can do yourself, those are good, just staples for your household.
Well, and we know that the local honey is supposed to be good for your allergies and all of that because it's local.
Yeah.
And your allergies are local.
Yeah.
You know, you go somewhere and you would have a different set of allergies than you do in Robertson County.
Yeah. Do y'all have any kind of, I know y'all sell honey.
Yes, we do.
I've bought honey there.
Yes, we do.
And it's local honey.
Yes.
But do you have anything for beekeepers and things like that? Any kind of instructions or any kind of
We have some
supplies
instructions.
or anything?
We don't have any supplies.
Okay.
That's one facet that we've not gotten into yet. Probably should.
Yeah.
But we hadn't dove off into that yet.
Yeah, well, because more and more people are getting into
honey
keeping
production,
bees and things like that. And like you said, the chickens and the bees and all the different things. And we have some new neighbors that live across the field from me, and I noticed they have cattle.
Okay.
And not many, just a few, probably for their own use, probably for their own slaughter and that kind of thing. I don't know. They've got enough out there. They might do a little bit of selling because beef is super good investment.
Super high right now. Super high right now.
It's a good investment. Well, and it's like when you look at things like that, that is one thing. The reason why we got out of hog production when we did is it was costing too much to feed them, and the profits weren't there.
The margin was just not there.
It was not there. We raised hogs big in the 70s when you could make money. And it served us very well, but my dad and my brother were always good about looking and saying, time to move, time to shift. And so they went back into just solid row crop. And then they grow a commercial food grade corn.
Okay.
You know, they make tortillas out of it.
Okay.
So that's what my dad's passed, but that's what my brother grows primarily
Specialty,
now. Specialty corn.
Yeah.
And so, but when they were, you know, working through hogs and stuff like that, it just got so expensive to feed them. So where is that as far as you're looking at it? Cattle still, you know, you can still make plenty of money with them, even though the feed is. I mean, what would you say? Being in the industry you're in, where would you point people as far as the livestock? Which is the best investment on livestock?
The cattle are a good investment right now. It would cost a lot to get in right now to start. Any type of investment, whether it be agricultural or any type of investment, you're well advised to get in and stay in.
Yeah.
The jumping back and forth, you always make the wrong jump.
Yes.
You jump when they're high and you jump when they're low, and that in between is the killer.
You bet.
But cattle are a good investment anytime. You know, to keep your land in good shape and keep it clipped off and gnawed down. There are a lot of goats and sheep in Robertson County anymore.
Yeah.
And they're good at keeping land cleaned up.
So you sell feed for everything?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
If it walks or crawls, we'll feed it.
I love it. But we're here to talk about chick days primarily, but there's just so much that we could talk about with Dorris Milling and the fact that they've been around forever. And you said 180 years.
Yes.
Right? And do you know if they recorded your deal with the Historical Society?
I think they did.
I would love to see it. I couldn't go. I was otherwise occupied. But
I think there were some of the members that did record it. I don't know that the Historical Society in essence recorded it, but I think it was recorded. And
I think that would be fascinating.
We talked about the avenues of Springfield, and we talked from 13th Avenue, which is central,
right,
down to First Avenue, and I even said it was like the slogan from Toy Story, where they talked about to infinity and beyond. We talked about 13th to First and beyond, because Dorris Milling is just beyond First Avenue,
right,
on Main Street. And so, and we need to say that, LaVern, for the people that have moved to Springfield.
Right.
If you're familiar with the fairgrounds, we are across the highway from the fairground. on Main Street, 5 North Main. So if you come down Main Street from uptown, just keep coming, and you will find our store with the checkerboards on it, because we are a Purina dealer, and you can't miss it. We'll be on the left as you go north.
In behind where you get your license.
Yeah, behind where you get your license.
So everybody knows where that is.
Oh yeah, that's been a popular thing with the star addition to the license lately.
I have to get my license renewed, and I'm like,
yeah, I know.
I don't know what all I got to carry, but
yeah.
Anyway, so I gotta get all that, but it's right behind where you get your license, guys. You cannot miss it. Again, you see the checkerboard there, and you're going to see a bunny on a hoverboard.
Exactly.
On the 28th.
Exactly.
So just invite them again. We've got a few minutes here. We're going to be visiting with TriStar NorthCrest, some of the folks from there here in just a few minutes. But as we kind of wrap it up, let's just do the big invite for Chick Days, and I'll keep talking about it too. Since y'all reminded me of it, I'll make sure and put it on my calendar and remind people to come on out.
We
tell them again what it is.
We would invite everybody to come Saturday, a week from this Saturday, the 28th, from 9 to 12. We will have the baby chicks there, of course. The Easter Bunny will be there to make pictures and to interact with the children and the adults. We have adults that get their picture made with the Easter Bunny.
Of course.
And
pets.
And we'll have,
right.
We'll have the petting zoo there. We'll have the pony rides. It's all free. Doesn't cost anybody a nickel. And so we invite any and everybody to come down and visit with us and learn more about us so we can learn more about you.
Absolutely. And I mentioned pets because a lot of people like to get their pets picture made with the Easter Bunny.
Yes,
and stuff.
absolutely.
Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So put them on a leash.
Pets
Be careful.
Pets are always welcome.
Yeah,
yes.
Absolutely. Keep them under control.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I need to bring my big horse out.
Well,
he is a horse.
he might get into my feed. I don't know about that.
He's a big boy. We got a Great Dane. It's just the silliest thing ever, and he's just a big old horse. And I'm telling you, and so we have dogs and cats. That's about all we do right now. But I get tempted, But livestock's a lot of work. I remember.
and there are the ventures of livestock that are not quite so much work, such as the chickons.
That's true. That's kind of why I think about chickens and doing chickens, is because I think it would be.
It's not so hard.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course, we have fish food. People come and buy fish food to take over the park.
Yeah.
And, pitch on the water and watch the fish come to it. So that's they get used to coming to that feed, and it's just like a swarm.
And then you just cast out over them, and
there you are. There you are.
That's how we used to fit. We had catfish ponds.
Right.
And so we would go out and feed the fish, and they would just go crazy.
Why not scoop them up?
You could you really did. I mean, that's how. I mean, we could catch fish pretty simply. It kind of ruined me for fishing.
Right.
Growing up with catfish ponds, and you feed them, and you just dip them out of the water, basically, or you cast out over them and reel in, and they just run into the hook.
Waiting for that little bobble to go under the water. That gets kind of slow sometimes.
Yes, it does. Yeah. Yes, it does. But that's funny. So is it the kind of food that floats up on top of the water?
Yes.
So we have that's fun.
Catfish and farm fish that float, and then we have a trout chow that actually sinks because the trout stay lower into the water.
Okay.
And they like it down where it's cooler.
That's very cool. I mean, there's just anything and everything, guys. If you're wanting to kind of get your feet wet with livestock, get some chickens. Get used to taking care of them. Then you're going to want goats.
You can work your way up.
You're going to want goats, and then you're just going to keep working your way up. And horse feed and all that. I have so many neighbors that keep horses, and they're so beautiful, and so I love seeing the livestock out there in the fields, and donkeys. And do donkeys eat the same thing as horses?
Yes.
So they do the same feed.
Yes.
Okay. I was kind of wondering, but we've got some neighbors that've got some donkeys and stuff too. So anything we're missing, Houston?
Other than the fact that we are an old line family business, and people are not a number when they come to see us; they're a name.
Yeah.
And we try to know about your pets and about your needs, and we rely on you to ask us of things that you need to know about your livestock.
Absolutely.
So we invite any and everybody, not just for Chick Day, but for any time that we can be of service to you. Please come see us.
Just go in there and ask some questions. If you're just curious about, what they have and the stock and the different things that they take care of and all the pet foods and all the different things, just go in there and ask some questions, and you're gonna fall in love with the Dorris family for sure. And
we have people, LaVern, that just come in and look around the store and noticed the pictures and the memorabilia on the walls.
Yeah, it's definitely a historic stop here in Robertson County, for sure.
I stop there every day. Yes.
Don't you now?
I stop there every day.
You've grown up there.
I think I was hatched there. Yes.
I got you.
Yes.
That's wonderful. But again, Chick Days, the 28th, not this Saturday, but next Saturday, starting at 9 and going until noon. You got to come see the Easter Bunny on a hoverboard and get some chicks. Get some chicks. I love it. Appreciate you.
LaVern, thank you for your time this morning.
Absolutely. Thank you, Houston. And we'll talk it up for you.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Right.
And I'm going to let him go ahead and make your way out. And I'm going to go ahead and talk about my friends Barry and Rebecca Richards. And we'll let the folks from TriStar kind of make their way on in. And as they're making that switch, y'all come on in and make yourself comfortable while I talk about Barry and Rebecca Richards. Y'all say hi to Mr. Houston Dorris Milling. And so as we're making the switch here and bringing in the next guest, and we're going to talk for a moment about Barry and Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty. Y'all just make yourself comfortable and slide on around. And but we're going to talk about Barry and Rebecca with Exit Prime Realty. They were in here on Tuesday. We had them in for the to talk about the Kilgore Station Bluegrass Festival. It was St. Patrick's Day, yes, but the reason we had them in is because Thomas Kilgore is of Irish descent. So we decided to have them in to talk about that because they're on the board for the Kilgore Station Bluegrass Festival. And so they, came in and filled us in on the guest list and all of those things. But they're also our longest running full-time sponsor. And we got to talk about all the things happening in the real estate market and the fact that it's heating up because it's spring. Spring break is the time they said that people will decide, okay, it's time to put our house on the market. It's time to start making plans because maybe they want to make that move while the kids are out of school during the summer. And so a lot of things happen during this time of the year when it comes to the real estate market. So whether you're buying, whether you're selling, whatever it is you're doing, you need a team that's going to just have everything that you need. We talked about Barry being a marketer. He was for 17 years vice president of a media marketing company up in Nashville. And he brings that marketing expertise to the table when it comes to packaging your property and make sure as people, flip through it, coming from another state, looking at your property, you got to make sure you got videography, photography, walkthrough tours, drone footage, all the things. And he does that absolutely perfectly to make sure your property does not get missed in the clutter. Rebecca's been at this a long time, one of the first in the area to be a seniors real estate specialist, approaching 20 years as a realtor. And when she found Exit, that team, she wanted to make sure she had somebody that would have everything that they needed to make sure that she had everything she needed as a realtor. And they're still with Exit. They're just a new branch in the Exit tree, Exit Prime Realty. They were with the Garden Gate team for many years. But Barry has a brokerage office here in Springfield. Rebecca has her office up in White House that is a real estate office, and together they make Exit Prime Realty, and they would love to work with you. Best way to contact them, sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or robertsoncounty.com. You can always just Google them, and you'll find all the things going on with them, and you can give them a call, 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425, or 7424, and as always, we just ask that you please let them know that U-Turn sent you and thank them for being a part of what we're doing here at One Street Over. Now, as we get back into the show, we are super excited to have TriStar NorthCrest, part of the One Street Over family. Going to have you guys scooch in on those microphones and talk right into them for me. So I've got Pete Long Ennis, right?
Nailed it.
Is that you?
That's me.
Okay, and then Marcus Alvarez.
That's me.
Awesome. Very cool. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Glad to be here.
Yeah. I'm just so excited to have you guys here. And you're just going to hang off. Paula's just going to kind of hang off over there to the side. She's the one who orchestrated all this and brought them in. And she's the one who I've been texting
Keeps
with.
us pointing in the right direction.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. And we're going to start visiting with different ones from TriStar NorthCrest every month. Now, we're settling on that fourth Thursday is when we're going to start coming in. But I think because of vacations and all the things, this is what we needed to do. So I came in on my spring break, y'all.
Well, thank
you.
I
appreciate it.
So I'm tickled to have you guys in and talking about this is colon cancer prevention month, right?
Yeah, colorectal health awareness month.
Okay, and I need you to get in on that microphone.
I'm sorry about
that. That's okay. But and I have had, I think we've all had friends that didn't get those early tests, that if they'd gotten those early tests, it could have saved their life. And so we just take a moment just to remind everybody about that, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Very good. So where do you guys want to start?
Well, let's let the physician start. And so
Yes.
Dr. Alvarez here is one of our colorectal health specialists. So
Very good. I think that's
first.
a very good place to start.
As some of my mentors said, I'm a simple country surgeon.
I like that, though.
But I do colonoscopies, as you know, because the community around here needs them. And I think it's really important to understand the perspective around why we're doing all of this stuff. There are a lot of tests that you can do, but the bottom line is that it's the second leading cause of cancer death. Among young people, it's now increased to be the first leading cause.
Really?
Especially, I believe it's young men. It's the leading cause of cancer death now. And it is one of those diseases that on a countrywide basis, we've done a really good job of managing, okay? There's about 150,000 cases a year. There's about 50,000 deaths a year, meaning that we treat much more, and cure or put into remission much more than comes about. If you look back over the course of 30 or 40 years, the numbers are not really, they went down a little bit, but the survivability and all of those things are going way up.
Right.
Why is that? It's because we're doing colonoscopies. That's when they became very, very widespread. The rate that people were getting colonoscopies 30, 40 years ago versus the rate now, not comparable. People are getting their colonoscopies and we're saving lives. And it's just a really powerful tool to do it. And I always, when I talk about it with my patients, I always talk about it, everybody's real hip on the breast cancer stuff, and you get your mammograms and it does lots of good things. It detects breast cancer early, all of that, right? Saves lives and less messed up, all of the good things, but it does not prevent breast cancer. Colonoscopy prevents colon cancer. The normal course of colon cancer is that it starts in a polyp. Polyp grows 10, 15, 20 years, and eventually, you can only roll the dice so many times. Those polyps are going to turn into cancer. It's going to accumulate enough mutation, and you're going to get an invasive cancer. Every time I take a polyp off, that's one potential cancer I'm preventing. And they say, the statistics are many years old, and they're bad because we don't leave polyps anymore. They say that, every 2 polyps you take off, you definitely save one cancer. And so
really?
That's the reason that we are here. That's the reason that we talk about all of these things. It's a very, very powerful tool. There are other methods to screen for colon cancer, and I'll talk about those a little bit later. But that's the main message. It's a very serious disease, but it's preventable. And with the things that the healthcare community and the country and everybody has implemented over the past 30 to 40 years, we're really doing a good job making it more manageable than it used to be.
So how much does the hereditary factor come into it? Because I had a friend of mine in my early radio days, a sales person for us, and her mother had it and died young. And she ended up getting it and died young. And there seems to be a hereditary factor involved, especially with people who get it young. Is that true? Is that because it seems that way?
That's definitely true.
Okay.
That's one of the main. There are a lot of genetic syndromes and things that we know about that are hereditary, but there are a ton of genetic predispositions that we don't know about, and that's probably the main marker. And it's a good segue a little bit into one of the topics that I wanted to talk about, using the Cologuard or the DNA, the stool sample screenings. Those are very good tests if you're average risk, meaning you don't have a genetic predisposition. You don't have a family member, a first-degree family member. Your parents, grandparents, slightly less so your grandparents, but your parents, your grandparents, or any of your brothers and sisters, any of those people, you're at a very increased risk of colon cancer. And so the DNA test doesn't really work for you. Anybody who's had polyps before, anybody who's themselves had cancer before, colon cancer, any young people who have any type of cancer, and especially people who have a family history, they need colonoscopies, and they probably need them every 5 years, starting 10 years before the youngest diagnosis. So if somebody's diagnosed at 40, their family members should start getting their colonoscopies at 30 or whatever, right?
Okay, because that's the thing that I think a lot of people don't realize how when I hear about young people that are getting it, I thought it was an older person's disease. And of course, except because I knew my friend early, because I mean, this is back when I was in my 30s, and we were about the same age, and she died very young.
I'm 38.
Come on in on that
I'm
microphone.
38, and I've lost 3 friends already to colon cancer.
Really?
And have, like Dr. Alvarez was mentioning, I have a family history. My grandfather had colon cancer. My father's had a complex colon health history, and so I've started doing my, screening colonoscopies. And I think, not necessarily as the representative of TriStar NorthCrest, but more just as a young male who's got that complexity, I can speak to maybe demystifying the kind of boogeyman nature of what colonoscopies are and the prep associated with it. It's very tolerable. It is a routine procedure in terms of just how, you go through the system. TriStar NorthCrest is the only place that has those endoscopy capabilities in Springfield. And, I think that we are trying to just make aware that this is a standard procedure for us to maintain health. And like Dr. Alvarez mentioned, you have the unique ability to intervene when you find something that you don't really get with any other kind of just straight diagnostic procedures.
Right. I'm a very big person in preventative. I mean, when you've got the ability to be preventative on this, why would you not? And again, I think losing my friend early on kind of, and I don't have a history of it, but I'm still going to, do the checks and things like that.
And you're aware of it now,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And so many people, like you said too, there's like it was like, oh, I don't want to do it. You hear people who paint this picture of, oh, it's just you hear comedians talk about it, things like that, and they make a joke out of it. And I hate that because it ends up making it such a stigma for so many people that they put it off to their detriment.
Right.
And people who I've had these conversations with people, and I'm 63 years old. People that are in my generation that have never had one, I'm like, what are you doing? You're rolling the dice, man. Why would you not?
Right.
I don't. That's my thing. Why would you not do this? And I've had several, just as preventative. And for somebody like me who has no history of it, when should I start? I mean, I've already had them, but when would you advise people?
Right now, the current data would say, or the current recommendations are at 45.
That's what I was thinking.
And every 10 years.
If you have no history.
If you have no history and everything is fine, right? And everything, there are no risk factors. 45 is a good thing. We probably are going to move that down, I would suspect, given the increase in early diagnosis that's happening.
Now, there are DNA tests, just like I've lost both my mother and my sister to cancer. My sister started in her lung, but and we had a cousin that had the same one. And they both passed. My mother had breast cancer, my grandmother did. So we've got some cancer history. And so I do the preventative things, but it's been said that how you can do a DNA test. How, you mentioned that there was a DNA test, but now what other tests are there? Do you recommend just a DNA screening or a genetic kind of test for somebody that's got it in their history?
There are, you should work with your endoscopist, your GI doc, or your primary care doc to see if you need genetic testing. Okay. There are some criteria, a huge list of them. I don't ever remember them. I just look them up as I'm going through them, because all of the committees that are working way above our heads are constantly changing them and making them more discrete and better able to predict, but that makes them bloated, and so we can't really apply them so much. But generally, if you have a couple generations, multiple first-degree family members, you're going to be, it's very, very likely that you have a genetic predisposition. And the ones that we learn about in med school and all of that stuff are the really big common ones. But there's a ton that are there that we don't know about. That that's the dirty secret about medicine, is we don't have the full picture yet. We're just trying to do the best we can with what we have and move that needle a little bit further forward next time.
I love that you just said that. I think that's just such a good thing to hear from a doctor that says, "Hey, we're every day doing the best we can, man." And I appreciate that. That's remarkable. A lot of people don't have that attitude. You meet doctors that don't necessarily have that attitude, so that's remarkable.
And I think we're lucky to have doctors like Dr. Alvarez because,
for sure.
And we had a great conversation yesterday, just transparently about kind of the healthcare system right now, and thinking about what access means and how folks can work their way through the system, and how even if you're savvy about the system, it can be very challenging to navigate. And so, I think what we always focus on is what can we do from, our microphones or our positions, and it's raise awareness and educate. And so that's why this is a great opportunity for us to, be able to talk about the subject, but also really just make folks aware that it's very prevalent in our community.
And I like what you said about demystifying it. I find that I have to talk with patients. They often ask me, and I have to convince them, colonoscopy is still the gold standard, and all the other tests are kind of subservient to it, or not subservient, but they all play together with it. And when any of them are positive, you have to still get a colonoscopy anyway, right? Yeah. And so people come in with a lot of anxiety, and I just, I've done it. It's not fun. It's not the worst thing you've ever done in your life. And I tell people they usually feel better for a week or two afterwards because they get all cleaned out. So.
There you go.
It's a great nap.
I mean, that's just it. It's just, to me, it's one of those things that people just want to build so much anxiety around stuff. And one of my daughter-in-laws, they just had a baby, and so many people. That's number 5 for me, grandkids. But so many people will fill her head full of, oh, it's this, it's that. It's that. Just cover your ears and just go through it, because you just don't even think about it. I don't think the same things for procedures like colonoscopies or anything like that. Just do what you need to do and quit listening to all the noise, and just know that it's something to make sure that you're going to stay healthy, because we're living longer, man, and if you want to live well, that's probably my mother, she hit 80, and this is not anywhere around here. This is back up in Mayfield. But the doctor who was seeing her at the time said, "Oh, you're 80. We don't need to do your mammograms anymore." But her mother, terrible advice. And but her mother had late life breast cancer runs in our family. And that was the worst thing that ever happened, because it got a hold of her, and it could have been prevented. It could have been prevented and caught early, and we'd probably still have her with us. And so I really do. I believe that really messed with her, and that just this idea that these screenings are not vital, because as we're living older, we want to live well and live healthy.
And I think that you make that, it's a really good point. I don't have any upper or lower cutoffs for colonoscopies.
Good.
Okay, my question to every patient is, if I find something that needs surgery, are you willing to undergo it? Right. And I don't make that decision. A patient who's 85 could want surgery, and a patient who's 70 is very poor health for other reasons and would not want surgery. And that's the main thing that I talk about with my patients.
Right.
Are you willing to? Do you want to pursue treatment if we find something? Right. If the answer is no, the reason for doing colonoscopies goes down a little bit, right? Gotcha. Sure, we can prevent things and do some other stuff, and I'm not saying you shouldn't do colonoscopies in that scenario, but if you're not willing to undergo the treatments, that changes it. But more importantly, we're discounting folks that are older who would want surgery. Yeah. If they found something, who would want procedures, who are willing to accept the risks of colonoscopy to have healthier late life. Right. And a lot of people will say, that's the last one, you don't need any more mammograms, colonoscopies, some of the other screenings, prostates, all of that stuff, right? We don't need to do that if the patient is willing and able to undergo the treatments for them. Right. That's the big question. So when you do a colonoscopy, if you find something, you don't do the surgery at that point. I mean, you don't do it while you're doing the colonoscopy. You don't, or sometimes do you? Almost never. Okay. It would. That would only happen in a complication of the colonoscopy, I would say. Gotcha. And even then, we would wake the person up first, talk to them, and then move to surgery. And that's extremely rare. Extremely rare. Okay. Any other non-emergency situation, we would, because I need the biopsies to come back. Gotcha. Right. So I take my biopsies. Right. Yeah, exactly. I take my biopsies. Gotcha. They go to the pathology lab. I see the patient back, usually between a couple weeks and a month, and then we talk about them. What are those biopsies? If they're angry or ugly, they can lead us to lots of different things. more colonoscopies. So instead of every 10 years, you're on a 3-year, 5-year, 7-year schedule, something like that. Or if they're very aggressive, it could be 6 months or a year just to check that it's not. Do we need more? Was it a cancer that we didn't suspect? And now we need to do another colonoscopy to find that location again and mark it, all of those sorts of things.
Right.
Or is it a cancer? And now we start to plan treatment.
Gotcha. And I mean, it's such a treatable cancer if you find it early.
It is.
That's the big thing. Even the ones that are, even my friend, as young as she was, if they had gotten it earlier, there was so many that said, yeah, this could have been prevented.
And there are very new avenues as well with the genetics of cancer, the genetics of colon cancer specifically, that some of the cancers are extremely sensitive to immunotherapy, extremely sensitive, like potential cure completely without surgery. We're finding that, right? And so identifying those and being able to start these people on those pathways, it's huge. It's huge.
What does that involve? I mean, when you talk about immunotherapy, what is that? I don't even, I've heard it, but I don't know what it is.
In this specific area, it is medicines that sensitize the cancer to be attacked by the body, basically.
Okay.
The cancers tend to, your body always, you're developing mutations, your permutations and all of that stuff, but your body attacks that stuff because it recognizes those mutations as not self. And so it'll go in there, attack them, filter them out, kill those cells, and move on with life, right? You're always doing that, and it exists in a balance. The cancer cells, they develop the mutations to grow, but similarly, they have to develop mutations that will allow them to evade that attack. And they evade that attack. And the immune therapy helps sensitize the body to be able to undo that evasion, more or less.
Okay, that's fascinating. I find all this just completely fascinating. I just, it's one of those things. I hope that by hearing this, it's just speaking to somebody, you need to get this on your list of things to do. This is something you've been putting off. Don't let people give you anxiety about it. Just make an appointment and get it done. Can somebody just call up to the hospital to find out where they need to go to start getting the procedure? As CEO, how would you advise people to get the ball rolling?
There's a lot of ways. I would say always consult with your primary care physician first as you try and navigate the system, mostly because you might find yourself needing a referral to be able to get to a specialist. Yeah. Some colonoscopies you're able to self-refer, and so you can do your research in town. But again, I mentioned we're the only center that does that around here in Springfield. And so, yes, if you go on our website, look up TriStar NorthCrest, look up colon health, you will find doctors like Dr. Alvarez who do those procedures and find your way. But I would always say consulting your primary care physician to start rolling the ball.
Absolutely. And so many things that we've got just such a beautiful hospital here. So many improvements and things that have been made. I had a situation with I had a knee that went crazy on me and had to come into the emergency room just a little over a year ago. Okay. Cannot say enough about the professionalism and how well they took such good care of me. And it was just a wonderful experience. I have a good friend of mine that had a heart attack, same thing, saved his life. And Danny Ashley and different ones that, or just different ones that have talked about, the experiences with the emergency. Yeah. That we're so tickled that you're here for us.
And a shout out to them, to know the community. They do probably the best job in the communication department around their surgery and how you're going to what's your day going to be like. They'll call you the day before. They'll make sure that you come in. Yeah. They'll do that, and they'll talk to you afterwards as well. Right. And call you afterwards, make sure you're doing okay. Just this double check, and they kind of cradle the procedure, and it makes and I bring people down from Clarksville occasionally. They remark very, very strong positive feelings and sentiments about how they manage the whole day, few days around the colonoscopy.
Yeah, we're really proud of our teams, and our people are amazing. And at NorthCrest, you have a community caring for community feel that you don't really get at every healthcare facility.
I agree.
And it's also not just a tagline, like it is reality. We are family caring for family. And so that reflects, and we measure ourselves in terms of patient experience scores and how are we doing? We read through every single comment that comes through in those patient experience, some of them painful, some of them constructive, and we take those opportunities to get better. But we are really proud of the service that we provide. The team is top notch, and so you're in great hands if you're coming to your hometown hospital.
Very, very, very definitely. And again, this is the month if you've been putting it off, this is the month to get it done. This is Colon Health Month. I mean, what is the full name of the month?
It's Colon Health Awareness Month.
Colon Health Awareness Month is the actual
formal title. But I think we're just taking all the opportunities we can to talk about the different ways that you can be aware.
Yeah, for sure. Anything we're missing? We're coming up on the top of the hour here, so we're gonna have to wrap it up. But
just the general things. Changes in bowel habits, new constipation, new diarrhea, blood in your stool, unexplained weight loss, dark or tarry or mucousy stools. Talk to your PCP, especially if you're of age. But as I said, even younger people these days, talk to your PCP. You probably do need a colonoscopy. Now, we can do some other things first to make sure we're doing the complete workup. But if you're experiencing those, you probably do need a colonoscopy.
And just pay attention to what your health history is and the different things that are going on in your world. You just don't ignore those. Don't just assume just because you're young that it's going to pass you by. And just speaking from people who I've known that aren't here anymore that put this off, and it could have prevented. Absolutely saved their life. And anything else you want to say about the hospital in general before we wrap up our time?
No, I think you mentioned, that we were making improvements, and so pardon our dust for a little bit. We're doing a lot of construction to just kind of upfit and renovate the hospital. So just excited about the growth, excited about the programs that we've got building right now. So
very good.
Thanks for having us. I'm looking forward to this becoming a repeat series and the ability to talk about some of the other great work that our teams are doing.
For sure. And, talking with Paula, y'all be back in here on the fourth Thursday at 7:30. I normally have United Way on the Thursdays at 7:30, but they're giving up one of their days for you guys. So the fourth Thursday at 7:30, we're going to lock y'all in, and we'll talk to the folks at TriStar NorthCrest. And are you going to join them every month?
I hope not, but I want other people to be on the microphone to educate and talk about what they do.
This is fun. I'll make it easy. We're just chit-chatting.
Yeah,
we're just chit-chatting. Yeah. Anything that we're missing, Doctor?
I think that's it. Thank you.
So I appreciate you guys being here. Paula, thank you for setting this up. We appreciate it. She's been hiding. I brought her a chair in here. I didn't know if she was going to come in and talk, so she's just staying off to the side and helping us to direct it. But again, we've got a beautiful hospital, wonderful hospital. We are so blessed to have TriStar and NorthCrest here in our community. Cannot say enough about how good they were to me when I wheeled into the emergency room, and I have had tests in there and different things like that. My heart doctor's here, so yeah.
Great.
Yeah, so it's great.
Well,
and
we're
just
here if you
some
need you.
great professionals, and just a great thing to have in our community, and we appreciate y'all. Look forward to visiting with you next month as well.
Excellent.
So
Thank you.
Thank you
get
so
your
much.
colonoscopy scheduled. Call. Did you have something you wanted to say, Paula? No, thank you. Okay, all right then. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us as we wrap it up. Thank you guys. Let them get on down the road and head back to work, and I appreciate you guys being with us. Now, to remember, Lee Marie is filling in for me for the next day. I'm going to take tomorrow off because I am on spring break. So Lee Marie will be in here tomorrow to hold down the fort for One Street Over. I hope you'll join her, and then I'll be back in the seat on Monday with a normal schedule, getting everything back into the rhythm of spring as we wrap up that last quarter for Robertson County Schools. So we're going to get back to it. I hope you'll join us. Thank you for being a part of One Street Over. This is 1100 WSGI. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.